Picture a young boy whose family is devastated by political purges. He grows up surrounded by betrayal, paranoia, and cruelty in one of the most dangerous courts in history. Against all odds, he not only survives, but ascends to the throne of the Roman Empire. Was he a master manipulator, outwitting his enemies with charm and wit? Or a shattered soul, irreparably scarred by trauma and consumed by madness? This is the story of Caligula, a ruler who lived almost 2 centuries before Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher-emperor, and roughly 200 years after Elagabalus, the infamous teenage sovereign. His reign, though brief, is one of the most debated periods in Roman history, remembered for accounts of extravagance, cruelty, and sheer insanity. And then there's the tale of his horse, Incitatus, a symbol of his reign's perceived absurdity. But beyond this legendary anecdote lies a far more intricate figure. Today, we delve into the dramatic rise of Caligula, his infamous reign, and the events that led to his untimely demise. Born in 12 CE, Caligula was the son of Germanicus, a celebrated general beloved by the Roman populace and widely seen as the heir to Emperor Tiberius. However, his family's popularity made them targets of suspicion. After Germanicus's sudden death, believed by some to be the result of poisoning orchestrated by political rivals, Caligula's mother, Agrippina the Elder, publicly accused Tiberius of foul play. The consequences were catastrophic. Agrippina and Caligula's brothers were exiled, eventually dying in captivity. Miraculously, Caligula survived. Under the care of influential relatives like Antonia Minor, he mastered the art of concealment, learning to suppress his emotions and play the obedient servant. When he joined Tiberius at the emperor's secluded court on Capri, he displayed extraordinary adaptability, earning the ruler's trust while hiding his own resentment. Some interpret this as evidence of remarkable intelligence and cunning. Others see it as the behavior of someone irreparably broken by trauma. A youth who adapted only to survive. For 6 years, Caligula lived on Capri, immersed in an environment rife with cruelty and debauchery. Tiberius's court was unpredictable, where loyalty shifted constantly and rivals disappeared without warning. Caligula not only survived but thrived, solidifying his position as the emperor's heir. In 37 CE, Tiberius died under suspicious circumstances. Some accounts suggest the Praetorian prefect, Macro, smothered the ailing emperor to ensure Caligula's succession. At just 24 years old, Caligula assumed power, briefly sharing authority with Tiberius Gemellus, whom he soon eliminated. Rome erupted in celebration. Citizens hailed him as the son of Germanicus, a figure they hoped would restore stability after Tiberius's oppressive rule. Caligula's time as emperor lasted less than 4 years, but his actions left an indelible mark. Beyond the story of Incitatus, his reign was filled with notable events. Caligula hosted grand spectacles, including gladiatorial contests and chariot races, delighting the Roman public. He also initiated ambitious construction projects, such as the Aqua Claudia and Anio Novus aqueducts, which would be completed after his death. He proclaimed himself a living god, demanding worship and commissioning temples in his honor. According to reports, he even appeared in public dressed as deities like Jupiter and Hercules, further alienating Rome's elite. Caligula embarked on a military expedition to Britain, but the campaign became infamous for its absurdity. Suetonius recounts that he ordered his troops to gather seashells as spoils of war. Though this may have been an exaggeration or a symbolic gesture, his disdain for the Senate was apparent throughout his reign. By sidelining senators and mocking their authority, Caligula deepened the resentment among Rome's governing class. His extravagant lifestyle depleted the empire's treasury. To replenish funds, he imposed heavy taxes and confiscated the estates of wealthy citizens, further alienating Rome's elite. Caligula's decisions often clashed with religious norms. His attempt to place a statue of himself in the Jewish temple in Jerusalem provoked outrage and unrest. Among all his actions, the story of Incitatus stands out as particularly infamous. The horse reportedly enjoyed luxuries such as a marble stable, an ivory manger, and purple blankets. Caligula allegedly planned to appoint him as consul. But was this act madness or a deliberate insult? Some ancient writers like Suetonius and Dio Cassius suggest Caligula genuinely intended to elevate his horse, interpreting this as evidence of his insanity. Others argue it was a calculated move to humiliate the Senate, demonstrating that even a horse could fulfill their duties. Modern historians often favored this interpretation, noting Caligula's well-documented contempt for the Senate. Caligula's end was as dramatic as his reign. On January 24th, 41 CE, a conspiracy involving the Praetorian Guard, senators, and palace officials culminated in his assassination. Cassius Chaerea, a guard officer whom Caligula had mocked, led the plot. During a public event, Caligula was ambushed and stabbed multiple times. His wife and young daughter were also killed to eliminate any potential successors. Following his death, the Senate briefly considered restoring the Republic, but the Praetorian Guard declared Caligula's uncle, Claudius, as emperor, ensuring the continuation of imperial rule. Was Caligula a madman, a brilliant strategist, or a victim of biased historians? Ancient accounts by Suetonius and Dio Cassius, written long after his death, often saw limited agendas. Modern scholars argue that while Caligula's behavior may have been erratic, many stories were likely exaggerated to tarnish his legacy. His life was one of survival, power, and controversy. From the treacherous court of Tiberius to his dramatic assassination, Caligula's story continues to captivate and divide historians. Was he a calculating genius, a traumatized soul, or a misunderstood figure